Hi, my name is Charlotte from Funky Makers, and today we're going to be showing you how to make a rainbow using finger knitting. Now if you don't have all the colours of the rainbow, don't worry, it'll work out quite nicely whatever colours you've got. You don't have to have all the colours, you can do 3, 4 or 5. I have done all 7 colours, but they're not the exact colours. I'm not sure that you could say that these are indigo and violet, but they're close enough. So whatever you've got to hand, you can use for this project, and you'll have a lovely rainbow to hang on your window or your door. I look forward to seeing all of your creations. Have fun with it and enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. I downloaded this rainbow template from Twinkle. I'll post the link in the comments. You can use any rainbow template, and you also don't have to make your rainbow with all of the colours. You just use what colours that you've got available to you. So if you've only got 5 colours, that's absolutely fine. If you do download a different template, you might need to measure your rainbow arches by just putting a piece of yarn onto the arch of the rainbow like this, and just line it up inside the arch and trim it. And that will give you the length that you need to finger knit your piece of finger knitting to. So in this case, it's 19 centimetres for the violet, for the indigo, 19 centimetres. I'm going to measure up the rest of the arches on this rainbow for you, and I'll mark them up on the template. And but you know how to do this if you want to do it with a completely different template, or you want to draw your own rainbow, that's absolutely fine too. Okay, so let's start to do some finger knitting. The first thing we need to do is trap the yarn between the thumb and the forefinger, and then we're going to go over, under, over, under, come back again, over, under, and come round the first finger, under the second finger, over the third finger, round the little finger, under the third finger, over the second finger, and round the first finger again. So now we're going to pop the bottom loop from each finger over the top loop, and that starts to form our stitches. And then we do it again. So we pick up our yarn from behind and we go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and we pick up the bottom loop, there we go, and just shuffle those stitches down a little bit, over, under, over, under, over, under, and there we go. Okay, that's how it's done, and we're going to continue on doing that until it's the length that we need it to be. Okay, and then we start again, and we come around the first finger, over, under, and you now have 2 loops on every finger. Okay, so we pull the bottom loop over the first loop, just make sure you don't lose any loops on the way. Bottom loop over the first loop, over the first loop. So, and then just wriggle those loops down your finger a little bit so you've got room to do the next loops. So we go over, under, Okay, so we do the next row. So we bring the yarn over, under, and back to the beginning, and bottom loop over the top loop. So at first, at the back, it's looking a little bit like a fishing net, and you just give it a little tug and it starts to form into a tube, and you'll see that tube as we get bigger, as we get longer. So we're going to go back and carry on. Now I measured the length of the yarn for the yellow section of the rainbow, and that was 39 centimeters. So I have the piece of yarn out here that I can either use, oh, don't get confused, make sure you're using the yarn from the ball and not the yarn from the tail like I've just done. So I'm going to use this piece of yarn to measure the length of my work when I get near to 39 centimeters. So we're going to carry on and let this grow, and we pull it, give it a little tug behind, see how fast it's going to grow. Now we can use our tail to wiggle that back down your fingers a little bit so you've got room to do the next row. You can get really fast at doing this, and just catch those loops. If you do manage to slip a loop off your finger like I've just done, it's easily done. So just catch the loop and make sure you catch the loop, otherwise your work will unravel. We're nearly there, not too far to go. Okay, so that's long enough. That's as long as the piece of yarn that we've got there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cast off. So to cast off, we choose the loop that the yarn is nearest. So we're going to move this loop from the first finger to the second finger, and we're going to move the bottom loop over the first loop, top loop. We're going to move it to the next finger and bottom loop over the top loop, and then we're going to move it onto the little finger, bottom loop over the top loop. Okay, give it a little pull, and then we're going to chop off the yarn here, and then we're going to pop that yarn through the loop and pull tight. Okay. So that's the yellow piece that's going to go into your rainbow. Okay, let's do the others. Okay, so now that we have created all of our pieces of finger knitting and measured them all to the right size for our rainbow, we should lay them back on top of our rainbow template so that you can see where they should all go and they all fit in. Now we're going to sew all of these pieces together so that we can hang our rainbow. So I've got some yarn and I've got a needle, so I'm just going to thread the needle. The best way to do that is just to pop the yarn around the needle and then push the needle onto the yarn. So if you do it like that, and then I've got a really long piece of yarn here, so I'm going to double that so it's nice and strong, and put a knot at the end of the yarn. There we go. So what we're working on here is the back of the rainbow, so any sewing that we will do on here won't be seen when you flip the rainbow over later on. Okay, so we're going to start on the bottom edge down here, and we're just going to go through the first stitch at the end of the first part of the rainbow, the violet, and where we've put the knot, we're just going to bring the yarn back in here and pull through. So that's going to secure our thread, try and keep it in place. That's going to secure our thread so that it's not going to come undone. So it's nice and secure for us going forward. Okay, so now what we're going to do is scrunch them up like a bit more like the rainbow, make sure they're all in place. So we're now going to run our yarn, our needle and our yarn through the bottom. So you try and keep to the back stitches. So we're going to run the yarn through, and we've come through all 7 layers. Now hold it down nice and flat. We've come through all 7 layers of our rainbow and we're pulling that together like that. So we're going to move along a little bit and we're going to come in a little bit further up and we're going to come back down again through all 7 layers. You can pick the needle up a bit further down and come into there. Oops. There we go. And we're going to pull that gently. Don't pull too tight because you'll squish your rainbow. So it should just sit nice and loosely like that. So we're going to move along and we're going to do that, and we're going to go around the rainbow but leaving some gaps. So we just want the rainbow to hold together, there we go, nicely for us. And we'll move along, we'll move up that far I think, and pop that through again. So we just catch some stitches across the back of our finger knitting, and there we go. Okay, so just make sure that you're keeping your rainbow shaped each time you create a new join. Okay, so that's looking good. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come up to here and pop that through there, and there we go. Okay. So we're going to continue going round. Before we come round here, we're going to just go back into the loop at the top here and leave a little loop. So we're going to go through that twice because that's going to anchor that down, and then you have a loop that you can then use to hang your rainbow on a hook or a doorknob or something a bit later, or the handle of your window. If you want to put it in the window, you can hang it on the handle of the fan light. Okay, so now we're going to move over a little bit more, and we're going to come down and come back through some of the stitches on the back again. As you can see, the gaps between the stitching is wider at the top arc of the rainbow than it is at the bottom, so we're coming in quite close down the bottom. Right, remember not to pull too tight. I've just pulled that too tight. Let's just loosen that out a little bit. There we go. Okay, and we'll go out on this side. There we go, and one last time. Just making sure that we catch all of the arches of the rainbow as we go. There we go. And we're just going to pop that through that last stitch another time so that it's nice and secure. Okay, and then just pop it back into the stitching, into your finger knitting, and we're going to cut that off. There we go. And what we're going to do here with what I've done on this side, we're going to tie all these strands of thread yarn together. So we're just going to do one big knot. So you just wrap it around your finger like this. Okay, it might actually be useful to twist your yarns a bit before you do that, because then they will go through your loop a bit easier. So we pop them round there, pop them through the loop, and now we've got this knot. And then you can trim your yarns here, pop those away, and do another trim on this side, try and keep them fairly equal. And then you've got tassels that are hanging just slightly off the rainbow. And then if we turn our rainbow round, there we go. We've got that beautiful rainbow that you finger knit, and it will hang quite nicely on your window. So you can hang it wherever you would like to. I hope you all have fun with this. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to see any more of our projects, visit our Facebook page, Funky Makers. Thank you.